First of all, I'd like to say thank you guys for coming. Give yourself a round of applause. Woo! I want all the moderators to come up here. And Chad. Come on, Chad.
I'm not a moderator.
Hey, guys, stay right here, man. Where are you, Alex? Come on, dude. Right here. Where you guys want to stay? Come on, don't be shy. Oops. Here, we don't need this. Come up here. Well, first I'd like to say thank you guys for coming. I mean, this is a year ago today. I never thought this will ever happen. So, thank you guys. Yeah, today is actually the 6th month. We didn't plan this, but exactly today, 6 months ago, we launched. This would not be possible without all you guys. Members, helping members, you know that's the key initiative to the MIC community. And then these are the great moderators that help us along the way. Here, introduce yourselves.
I'm Tay.
Hi, Oliver Tan.
So Oliver, he's the guy that designs all the shirts, so all the stuff you guys are wearing.
And Joe Kelly.
What's up? My name is Val. Nice to meet you guys.
Hey, what's up, guys? Brian here, Trader Tax CPA. So I run the MIC tax planning services.
And of course, the man, Chad Cobra, he's been loyal to us since the beginning, and we've been loyal. So I was like, dude, so when he said, let's come to Texas, I was like, dude, let's do this. So we started out with a little meetup, and now, dude, we ended up just make it big. And I brought my laptop to try to show you guys some stuff. And instead of having the giveaway for the dinner, Chad here wants to announce something. And you can talk more about Cobra.
Drum roll, please.
Here we go.
I know. They told me I needed to be recorded, so.
Higher.
Oh, look at that.
So I wanted Chad to talk about Cobra a bit. For you guys,
You just stick that in your pocket. All right. Well, thank you, everyone, for making this event possible. Like Bao said, thanks for everyone visiting Dallas. As you may know, we're in Plano, not too far away. The big announcement, yes. So the big announcement, you guys were all aware, we're going to have a drawing. We're going to pick 7 names to go to dinner with Bao and Alex. Cobra said, hey, this isn't fair. 7 people go, 100 people don't go. So what we're going to do, all of us, everyone that wants to attend, you can all join us. We got a room set up over at the Foundation VIP room at the House of Blues. Yeah. So for those that haven't went, that's pretty swanky. It's pretty awesome.
You gotta take him?
So with that, Cobra and MIC, we're going to cover the food. We're going to have some appetizers set up. The drinks are still on you. But yeah, so we can continue this. We're going to be able to go over there at 5:30 till 10. If you guys want to stay around at the House of Blues, you surely can. But it'll be a great time to continue the party, continue to talk with the friends, continue to do what we're doing here is get together with other traders and learn from each other. That's kind of the big key. Before I hand it over to Bao, I want to thank all of you, especially those that have chosen to be Cobra clients. I mean, it means a lot to me. I founded Cobra myself personally 16 years ago. I've been in the industry 20 plus years.
You don't look that old.
Yeah. So, yeah, clients or not, I'll answer any questions. I think any of my employees that are in the back and hanging around will attest. I talk all the time. I'm more than happy to answer any questions, offer my opinion on anything, and to all in the goal to help you out as traders. Over 20 years, I've seen a lot of traders make it and not make it.
So let me say this: there's a lot of experience and also beginners. So maybe you can talk about how Cobra can help both the advanced and the...
Sure. Well, yeah, I mean, there's a lot to, that we can do to help, mainly, primarily...
First of all, tell you, what is a broker? A lot of these guys are just starting out as well.
What's a broker? I mean, gosh, you guys have heard of the E-Trades, the TDs, the Thinkorswims, you name it. Cobra, we are a small group of, a half a dozen brokers that all we do is give our sweat and tears to traders. We are logged in. We are responding within seconds. We are, everything for our clients. So as a broker, obviously that's where you trade, and we're collecting a small bit of commissions on every trade.
You can introduce your team. They're here too.
Yeah. So for those of you that are our clients or want to know, we got in the back we got Dan over here, and we got we have. I don't know where Chris is. Chris is somewhere.
So all the guys in the Cobra shirts.
Okay. Anyway, so Brandon, my man at the table back here, Brandon's been with me for 12 years. So Brandon has been with me through all of this. So if you got you need to have a question, Brandon has it. And my lovely wife is also back here, so she's really the
real CEO.
The real CEO, yes, exactly. So with that, as far as talking about traders in general, for the new traders, I can give one piece of advice to a new trader, is really to keep your capital, right? I think I can't stress that enough. You can be wrong consecutively so many times as long as you keep your capital in the game. But if your losses are small, you're still in the game. But you can do everything right. You can have 20 winning trades in a row and then not have any discipline on that 21st trade and lose it all. So that really, really is the key. I have 20 years of experience seeing traders make it and not make it, and I've seen some pretty amazing traders that have racked up amazing wins, literally gone overnight. I mean, oh my gosh, what happened to Steve? It's that quick because he didn't have that discipline to stop that loss. It can't go any higher, right? It's that short where surely it can't go any higher. So it's all chips in and game over. It happens. It happens often. It happens far more than anyone would like to see. Of course, I have a window into the whole world, seeing our traders. But the traders that make it don't win all the time. The traders that make it are the guys that hit 400 ball. The guys that maybe
base hits and
base hits and doubles, like Bao says. It's the guys that just little by little make profit. Go home at the end of the day happy you made $1,200. Don't swing for the fences saying you need $5,000. Bao puts a statistic out there all the time that says how much you make per year, making $500 a day, $1,000 a day. I mean, why swing for $10,000 a day? Because if you're swinging that hard, there's going to be a day where you're down 50 and your account might be gone. So, but that's my piece of advice. Just keep your capital in the game, honor your stops, keep your losses small. And
you talk about Venom and
so
the small accounts and large accounts.
Yeah. So back to the whole Cobra sales pitch. We have Cobra trading, which is for the MIC members, 27,000 and above accounts. Then we have the Venom trading, which is $5,000 and up accounts. People always ask what's the difference, and we can go through that in fine detail at the table. The big difference is the clearing firm, whereas Cobra Trading clears through Wedbush Securities out of Los Angeles, a multi-billion-dollar company, and Venom clears through Interactive Brokers, which is even bigger. So we've picked, we think, by far the two biggest premier clearing firms. That's where you're sending your money. So you say, who in the hell is Cobra? We can say, hey, at least you're sending your money to Wedbush or Interactive Brokers. We service your account. We make sure we're there to get you the borrows. We make sure we're there to help you out. On that same track, the biggest difference, a lot of people, you guys are shorters. I know a lot of people talk in the room, shorts. The Cobra side gives us a lot more flexibility for shorts. We have multiple short locates on the platforms with Cobra. We have multiple more if you contact us directly. We're in the process of adding 2 more right now. So in that respect, the short traders, the active day traders, short trader, Cobra is the place to be. So if we can do anything for your account, let us know. If there's a commission offer that we can beat.
We actually have a pool of free locates in the morning if you hit those guys up early enough. So for the guys that are here, you guys get to know them.
Or they don't, because you just said it.
Oops. Just for you guys.
Yeah.
Hey, show me the pig out there. Can you show me the pig? I got the golden pig. So I brought 5 of those all the way from Asia. They're going big. So first 5 guys, if you guys want to open an account with Cobra, here's some pigs for you.
Bao's door prize. Bao said, I'm helping you out. If you get a person open an account at the event, they get a golden pig. So you're the pig. So, but anyway, I know you guys didn't come here to hear me speak. but I thank you all. Welcome to Dallas. For those of you that aren't from here, the event after, we're going to head over immediately following here. The doors open at 5:30 at House of Blues. At 6 o'clock, they'll bring us some food. We have that whole VIP room until 10. After that, I believe there's a burlesque show there at the House of Blues. So it's awesome. So House of Blues also, 1 mile, exactly 1 mile down the road. You can plug it into your phones. I don't want to begin to give directions, but it is so close. So it is 1 mile down the road. It should be awesome. So I hope you guys can join us over there.
Who here has Cobra?
Quite a few. Thank you. Thank you.
We need at least 5, right? 5 things. So those are interested. Dude, these guys on the table back there, they're our preferred guys. So I mean, we all use them.
So yeah, client or not, you're welcome to the party. It is not an exclusive thing. This is an event. You guys are all here to learn. If I can be any part of it, I really appreciate it. So. Oh.
I hope you guys don't get sick. I was in bed all week just for this event.
Thank you.
As you know, I got pretty sick last week.
What pocket did I jam it in?
So let me ask, who's MIC? Nice. Who's not MIC? Why not?
Slip that in your pocket.
But okay, we'll do this. So I brought a bunch of shirts.
Who's MIC after today?
Yeah. So we have a bunch of these shirts. So they're going to be first come first serve for the MIC, of course, first, and then the rest of you guys, right? So basically, who traveled the furthest? Who do you think traveled the furthest to get here?
Hey, one guy drove from Mississippi.
Oh yes, 7 hours drive, right? So with the total commute time, 7 hours. 3 hours.
10 hours.
10 hours. Oh yeah, where'd you drive from? New Mexico? Oh, you win, brother. I could have gone to Asia. but that's awesome, man. It's like we have a bunch of stuff. I got a bunch of stuff, man. I bought boxes of stuff for you guys, so don't worry about it, man. Thank you guys for coming. So this started as a meetup, just shaking hands, and then we decided, why not just do a big event? Oh, is that right? The hoedown? Is that the hoedown? I had to Google how to spell hoedown. I didn't want to offend anybody. I was like, hoedown? So, to be honest, I don't really have an agenda, okay? My whole thing is I wanted to build a community where, I've been involved with chat rooms like pretty much my whole trading career, right? And it's a very lonely existence. You learn by yourself, and what happens when you learn by yourself is it's a slow learning process, and you're very competitive. What happens is this: you don't want to share anything with anybody. So that's why the community out there, sometimes you see guys just steering new traders the wrong way, and they call them sheep, right? I mean, we don't treat anybody sheep, because that's cruel, because we all been there as a beginning trader, right? So you see these guys out there that's like, hey, we feast on sheep. And to be honest, the guys that say that, they are the sheep themselves, right? And so I wanted to create a community like you guys, like, dude, members helping members. We're teaching you things that no one would ever teach you, because that's been my edge. Why do you think I top tick all the time, right? So now I'm showing you how to do it. You see now, it's very, so what I wanted to do was figure out what made me survive in this game for 15, 20 years. And what worked and what didn't. So I created the whole MIC and from the ground up. And so the first thing you need to do is start with a great group of guys, right? A great broker. Dude, you need everything. It's just not one thing. So it's very difficult. So you need a team of guys who are basically they're there to help people. So I always preach on like pay it forward, helping people. I've been doing this for a long time, even before MIC, right? So, and one thing I've noticed is this: what made me successful, not because I'm smart, is because someone was there to slap me in the back of the head whenever I broke a rule. I didn't realize that was it. I always had a trading partner. This trading partner goes, hey, what are you doing, dude? You've lost too much money on stock, get the hell out. So every giant loss I've had was when my trading partner like went on vacation or some stuff. So like whenever Alex would leave, I just like, fuck it, I'm going to break the rules. And then, you know how that happens, right? So I call that a TAB, a trading accountability buddy. And so I throw these meetups for you guys to go and find your own tabs. Okay? And who here has a tab? Do you think that has helped you a lot in your learning process and discipline? And it makes trading more fun. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to do a different format. This was my slides. Well, Nico's no longer here, but this is the first boot camp, right? And so we have these videos. It's saved. So once you join, we will offer it to you. But you'll see, I don't want to show the whole slide. So I want to show you this scenario here. This was me, good Lord. This is when there was still CRTs. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I mean, dude, this was my bootstrap system. I wished I took more photos back then, but to be honest, dude, it was still cameras that needed film. That's how long ago this photo was. It's a CRT, dude. Let me tell you a story about this. I bought this desk on sale at Office Depot for $100. Those are large screens. These are like 40 pounds, 50 pounds each. You remember, right? In the middle of the night, I hear a boom. I came out, this shit, no joke, cracked in half. All this shit was on the ground. And so I think this was what remained. Because if you notice, this is just a little sectional that broke off of a big old L unit. So I always say this, dude. It's like, it may seem so impossible. Just like the drive, a 10-hour drive. But all it takes is the first half hour, then an hour, then 2, 3, right? Eventually get there. So I have this quote I've been saying for a long time. Every expert wants a beginner. Every pro wants an amateur. You know what, man? Day one is better than one day. So if you start now, dude, the guys that just started now, didn't you wish you had started like a year ago, 2 years ago? That's all it takes. And so I'm here as a living example that you can do it, man. You can do it. So the best way, I'm trying to try a new format here. I'm going to bring up a couple of members that's gone through what I've gone through. And they can maybe motivate you. So where are the guys I talked about? We got come on up, guys. There's one more, right? Who is another guy? Okay, I'll let you tell about your experiences. So he's Andrew. Okay, go for it.
Yeah, so my name is Andrew.
Here, Ben. Okay.
Hello. I got recorded. I'm from Dallas. What do I do? Put this in here?
Yeah.
All right. Sunsets, that's right. Long walks on the beach. No, so my name is Andrew, and I guess I'm fortunate because I've been involved in markets for a very long time, and I've followed Alex and Bao for a very long time as well, and I've always been more so on the investing side of things, but I said if they ever started a service, I would want to learn from them because sort of my mindset's always been why go through pain myself, and if I could learn from people that have gone through pain and sort of have come out the other side to learn from them. And I think their motto is mentorship is the shortcut to success. And I think that is 100% true. And I was lucky enough to join when they were doing one-on-ones with people. And Tosh is who, my boy Tosh is who I worked a lot with. And my trading philosophy stems a lot from Tosh, and they don't do one-on-ones like they did back in the day, but what they do, because I paid for that, is they do 15 to 20-minute trader calls every single day. And so you can, in the chat, you can chat with Tosh for 15 to 20 minutes or however long it is, and I know Alex does them too every now and then. And Bao also adds commentary as well to really learn, and they'll just sit down and be like, so what's going on? What's on your mind? What did you trade today? What do you need help with? And you get to spend time with people who have done it instead of go through the whole process yourself. So for me, that has always been super helpful. But my trading philosophy, I've had the benefit of being in, that's great. Yeah, don't get to this part right here. Don't get there. Stay with this good smile. So I've been with MIC for 4 or 5 months, and I've had a lot of success. And I know all that success has come from because I've learned from people who are doing it instead of people who aren't doing it, or just me trying to figure it all out on myself. And the community is great. No one pumps anything. Everyone's very willing to help. Where's Joe, for example? I met him today in person, but the other day a week ago, we were just messaging back and forth on what he's currently doing and what's working from him. And every single trader is willing to do that. So it's been very helpful. It's kind of a one-stop shop. They just added the tax part as well, because that's kind of a lot of fun. But it's great, and it's been very beneficial for myself. So join MIC. That's my sales pitch. There you go.
I'm Jason. So I never would have expected I'd be talking here today. But I actually started out following gurus into trades, and I actually blew up my account twice doing that. You probably know of a particular warrior that I used to follow. I followed him into a trade, lost $1,700. That was huge for me because I was in college at the time. I almost had a heart attack probably. For a long time, I just didn't really think that I could actually make money. I would look at these charts and there's tons of money just floating around. And all you have to do is just reach out and get it, but I just couldn't get a hold of it. And if I did, I couldn't keep it. But then, for years I've been following Bao on Twitter, and he would always put out really good information. And I would bounce around from chat room to chat room, guru to guru, and they would kind of give you an idea of what you're supposed to do based on what they do. But, you can't do what they do because you don't have the money that they have, and you don't have the experience, and I needed some specifics. Like, I needed to know specifically what do I do at this one moment in time, not like, it's trending up, buy. Okay, well, where, how, when? Give me some knowledge. I joined MIC, and things just really started to click. The pivot lines. I loved the pivot lines. Those really made a big difference for me. So I started longing at support. I used to try and buy breakouts, and I kept losing money. And over time, it just adds up. Loser here, loser there, over and over. What's that?
You were buying when I was shorting.
Exactly. And you probably are the one that took my $1,700 from Ross. It was probably you, yeah. You and Alex.
We got a piece of that.
But you know what? It's okay, because I learned. I'm back. I didn't quit. I wanted to quit. It was really hard. I thought maybe I could. I just couldn't do it. I'm not smart enough. I'm not good enough. Whatever. I had a lot of thoughts. But I came back. I joined MIC about a week after it started because I saw YouTube videos of Bao talking about his goals, Alex talking about what they want to do with MIC. I was just like, man, that's for me. That's right for me. And I joined, and they give you specifics. They tell you exactly what they do based on certain criteria. They don't say I'm getting long at this price right now, and then you follow them in. They tell you how they do what they do, why they do what they do, and then you can plan your strategy based off of that information. And so I did. And I've actually been making money. For the first time in my life, these past several months, I'm making money. It's not a lot.
Yeah. You're not losing.
Yeah, I'm not losing. I'm scalping. Scalping wins, man. Scalping adds up. If you make 5-10 cent trades, that's 50 cents right there. And you can increase your size over time. But it's all about psychology too, and that's another thing that nobody else really talks much about. Both of these guys, especially on losing days, I watch Alex's videos about losing 30K in a day, and that's mind-boggling money. But if I lose $200, I'm really unhappy. I'm really upset about that, and it's totally my fault. I messed up. I broke a rule. But watching their videos, it helped me overcome the psychological aspects of trading, which is much more difficult than the technical aspects. So
How long have you been trading now?
I started back in the summer of 2016.
Okay, so almost 3 years.
Yeah, I blew up twice following the gurus. I don't follow you guys. You know, I listen to what you say. I've watched every single video you guys have put out multiple times. Like Tosh said, you know, you probably shouldn't be obsessed with this. You shouldn't spend every night, every weekend doing this. I do. And I'm going to continue. After a few years, I might be able to relax. But
so now you finally figured it out, right? So what is your aha moment? I mean, what
those pivot lines. Those pivot lines.
Right?
I know. It might sound dumb, but honestly, like I tried a bunch of different strategies, and then I started you showed us the pivot lines, and I went back through a bunch of different charts over time, all of the real big gainers, and like they really follow those pivot lines very closely. I mean, it's not perfect. Nothing in trading is perfect, but the probabilities are there. You know.
Good guide.
Yeah, exactly. Like
So Joe was talking about where's Joe Kelly? Oh, there you go. so he started. He has videos now on like data testing. Yeah. So you can go back now and check out all those charts and see if there's how these lines and figure out the fudge factors and all that stuff. So
yeah,
that's a great story,
Yeah.
man.
Thank you.
How about you, Andrew? How long you been?
Yeah, so with MIC, I've been with you guys for like 4 or 5 months. Yeah, so I've been with MIC for 4 or 5 months, and that's how long I've been trading their strategy. I'm up to averaging like $500 to $600 a day. And I always say, which is kind of crazy, like
You still in college?
no, I'm not, but that's still good money. I think a lot of traders sort of they're their own worst enemy because they almost lose perception of like gains every single day and like how little base hits add up over time. And that's something that Bao, you actually just put out a video, was it this week, on how to grow a small account. And it's just, you know, just going in every single day and just sticking to your rules and how those little gains add up. And, you know, for me, that's been huge and just really just, again, it's like traders are the worst enemy because they say, oh, they may make a couple $100 and they just want to keep pressing the gas pedal and, you know, now they want to make $1,000 or $2,000 or whatever. But it's like, okay, what's $400? I mean, that's actually, he tweets about it and Chad was talking about that earlier, that's $100,000 a year. And that's a lot of money for a lot of people. That's a lot of money for everybody. So I think traders are sort of their worst enemy because they forget just how much it adds up. So if you just learn the right process and you know, you go in every single day, and for me, what's helped is really stopping at 9:30 and trading the first hour of the day. You know, that's been great. Yeah, it's like $400. Yeah, that's something I have posted next to my monitor every single day, so you could just really remember it. And I think it just comes down to that and just the psychology of trading and understand. The way I trade is, you know, low-hanging fruit plays, just sort of the easy money. A lot of people like to go after like solo this week, how, you know, it's a complete front side, and I'm not even looking at those plays until the backside's confirmed, just to go for my quick 10 to 15 cents and, you know, call it a day.
Where did you learn that?
I learned it from my boy Todd.
Where'd you learn that?
But if I didn't join MIC, I would, you know, probably be the sheep that just kind of, that these guys are taking money from every single day because they don't understand how to trade. And, you know, so it gets back to why go through the pain yourself. Why, you know, go through years of just trying to figure it out if you can learn from people who have done it. I mean, Alex and Bao and Tosh have been doing this for a very long time, and that's just been so helpful for me. Yeah.
Hey, how about Will Mill? Is it? Come on, man.
There he is, from New
We're
York
a bunch of
City.
different guys. It's like, you know, everyone trades very differently.
Yeah.
And everybody comes from a different background. And so I just like to like highlight a lot of these guys. Like everyone here is so diverse and different. And our backgrounds, and we can still all make it work.
Yeah.
How you doing, guys?
Where's your hand? Don't talk about last night, okay?
I'll try not to. How you doing, guys? So my journey started about
What's
a
your
year.
name,
Romel. I'm Romel. I've been in MIC since day one. So happy 6 month anniversary. So my journey started about a year ago, just like Andrew said, and Jason. I was following the pumps. And losing a lot of money. I was not consistent. Well, I'm still really not consistent, but I'm learning rules and I'm following them every day. And ever since joining MIC, not only waking up early and following my trades, but also getting feedback from other traders that are having the same problems and issues that I'm going through. So,
You have a group of guys you train with?
yeah.
So we call it the tab, right? So
The tab, yeah. Well, actually, I have a tab, and recently this week we created like a tab group.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, there's a tab group that we all talk within that thread. So that's been really helpful. I'm long bias. I usually do the breakouts, but I'm learning every day the short side. What Alex and
See, I like to say
talks
this,
about.
even if you don't short, learning the mentality of how the other side thinks will help you be better long.
Yeah,
Like
definitely.
I didn't start out as a short, I started out as a long. So that's why my shorting skills are a little better, because I understood like what longs would do, what they would try to break out of stock, that kind of stuff. And so don't think like, oh, we can't join MIC because we don't short. But imagine if you hear where I want to short, what are you going to do?
Exactly.
You're not going to buy there, right? So then you understand, trading is actually, in my opinion, very anti-intuitive. What makes sense is not going to work. It's like if a stock keeps going down, most of the time, it's on sale, it's so cheap, let's buy this. Wrong. It's cheap for a reason, right? So it's anti-intuitive. You want to buy stock that keep making new highs. You see how that works? So when I started trading, I was always trying to bottom fish and find deals, and it's like, dude, those stocks are weak for a reason. You know what I'm saying? And so the more you hear from both sides, the more you understand. So in my opinion, it helps that we have a lot of longs in the room and shorts. So it's a good balance versus a room full of long sheep. Oh, everyone's buying. Oh, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. I've been tracking the zombie rule, and I've been seeing when everybody gets out and the volume starts consolidating and it breaks out. I've been tracking that a lot, and it's really, really consistent. As a long, that for me is a buy. When everybody's covering, it's a signal to buy. So I've been tracking that. I haven't really played it, but I've been tracking it. But ever since 6 months ago, I have seen improvements in my trading, and I only give it to MIC and everybody else that helps me out in the gym. Thank you.
See, everybody's progress is different. Just because someone makes money right away or someone takes years. I have guys that took 8 years, like Nico, took many years until the aha moment comes. So don't be distressed. The fact that this is the key, guys. This is a learning process. And so like Chad says, it's capital preservation. You want to be in the game. So if you are trading and you're not profitable, but you're not losing that much and you're breaking even, to me, that's a victory. Right? Because you're just waiting for that aha moment to break over. If you are consistently losing money, do not trade with real money. Paper trade. I paper trade every day. I wake up late because I was sick all week. He knows me in chat. The first thing I do is I ask Alex, what are the tickers I ran? I pull up the chart, and I'm mentally trading. I'm paper trading. I'm doing back test data that Joe is doing, but I'm doing it in my mind because I've been doing this a long time, right? I'm realistic with myself, and I say, oh, crap, I would have died on this stock if I don't follow the rules. And so you can paper trade every single stock, be it real time, a simulator, or just going through the charts and learning. And so those are starting out that are not finding success right away. Don't despair, and don't keep throwing big money at it, right? Just paper trade and learn until you do it. And the key, once again, I really think it's a tab. So, before we get to the next one, any other, we'll get to more of the members, but I want to bring up Brian. So, this is another element of MIC that I wanted to introduce everybody to. It's, so when I started trading, every year the tax man comes and takes my money, right? And so I'm like, dude, I've been figuring out how to do taxes. So I actually had a good friend who worked for IRS, and I paid a lot of money to him. Because I'm like, who the hell else knows what they're doing about trading and taxes? We are probably doing it all wrong. The 1099s that come is all wrong. I'm looking at the stuff and I'm like, dude, I didn't make $20 million this year, but the IRS thinks I do. So those kind of errors and stuff. What do you do? So there's no one that does tax preparation for the day trader. So until I met him, he happened to be in MIC. He said, hey, let's incorporate what you do. So, hey, Brian.
Yeah, what's funny too is when I joined MIC, I like to look at myself as a full-time trader that I just have a business on the side, and so I actually I came into MIC just trading. So me and Nico were good friends for a couple years, and so when I went out to New York, that's where I met first time I met Bao. I kind of knew him just through other networks, and we just started throwing some things on the wall. And I was just like, yeah, dude, I got my own business. I do taxes for small businesses. I got a couple traders just through my internal network. And he was like, dude, this is like a void that's in the trading community that I think it could really benefit not only MIC members, but people also outside of MIC. So the last couple months or years, I've just been focused on developing content and, just becoming a better trader myself. And so it's awesome that, MIC is looking just beyond. Obviously they're trying to help you trade, but they're hooking you up with nice gear. Now we're hooking you up with, tax plans. So the two biggest things that I see, similar to what Chad says, he sees a lot of the industry data. So I see what happens when traders have extremely successful years, and I also see when traders have extremely bad years. So there's things that you can do from a tax perspective that could save you a ton of money. So one of the things that people don't realize is that if you have a bad year trading, and you haven't elected what's called Section 475, mark-to-market accounting, you're subject to capital loss limitation rules. So you can actually only deduct $3,000 of your losses against other sources of income. So there's an IRS statute. It's IRS Tax Topic 429. If you want to look it up, good luck with that. But essentially what it says is there's criteria that our firm looks at to make sure that you qualify as a trader in securities. And so once we figure out that, okay, your activity rises to the level of a trader in securities, we then say, okay, now you have the opportunity to not only deduct business expenses, but you can also elect mark-to-market. So some of those business expenses can be things like this MIC meetup. A lot of you guys traveled, miles and miles to get here. That's fully tax deductible if you're a trader in securities. Another thing, let's just say you paid $390 this week for solo locates. Well, if you're a trader in securities, that's fully tax deductible. So there's a lot of different benefits that a lot of traders can get that they don't actually see. So
This is tax deductible.
MIC is tax deductible.
Tax planning is tax deductible.
Tax planning is tax consultations. But at the end of the day, a lot of guys hit me up, and obviously I want them to do the consultations. But at the end of the day, I just love talking to traders. So if you guys have questions, if you're an MIC, if you're not an MIC, you can just shoot me a direct message, and I will answer whatever questions you have.
This is what I find more valuable. A lot of times people contact him when shit hits the fan. Oh my God, I made all this money and now I owe more than I have because I didn't pay taxes. So for me, the importance of tax is tax planning, guys. Seriously, you want to plan before you even make money. Because when you make money, it's too late. You didn't plan. The government took most of your money already. So in my opinion, those guys that are starting out, it doesn't hurt. So let's explain your plans, because in my opinion, when you do this, man, imagine you never know. You might get lucky, or you might be really good and make money right away. And now you owe a boatload of taxes, like 40-something%, whatever it may be, right? You're like, I'm screwed, right? Yeah. And so the best thing would be is plan it ahead of time. So,
a funny story about that too is I just did a consultation on Thursday with a trader. 2017, he made $650,000, which is good money. In 2018, this past tax year, he lost all of it. Well, he didn't file his mark-to-market election in 2018. So what happened? So yeah, you already know what happens. So he owes the IRS 37% of whatever $650,000 is, and then he gets to write off $3,000 of his blow up. So again, tax planning, no one cares about it, but when stuff hits the fan or when stuff is really well, you just want to make sure that you set yourself up for long-term success. Because I know a lot of you guys have dreams and aspirations to be full-time traders, and you want to make sure you treat it as a business because that's
So let
exactly
me
what
ask
it
you
is.
this. So they've been, if I've been losing 3 years straight, those get credited, right?
Yes.
And so those are the type of planning. Even if you don't make money, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The losses you have could be
Yeah.
planned.
And you can use it to your advantage. So, because again, I see a lot of trading data. What's awesome though is a lot of times you'll see guys, they look at it as market tuition or I'm just learning how to trade. So, at the end of the day, you're going to lose money up front, but it's also a benefit to you. So, if you lost, let's just say 20 grand in 2018, in 2019 you make 20 grand, well, now you're out of a capital loss hole, and whatever that first $20,000 is, you're actually not paying any income tax on that. And then anything forward, you're now in capital gains territory. So I'm going to walk you through some of the plans that we actually offer. So what the base plan is, I look at this as just an entry-level consultation with our firm. So a lot of guys like to do things on their own, but they just have a couple questions about, just, hey, what is mark-to-market? What is trader status? What are some of the things that I can write off from a tax perspective? And so what we do is we actually have another Slack workspace that if you're an MIC, obviously you understand what Slack is, but if you're not a part of it, it's a separate Slack workspace where you can ask questions and anytime
It's a chat room.
it's a chat room, yeah. And so basically 24 hours a day, you can shoot us a question. If I'm not in there or if someone on my staff is not there, we'll get back to you with an answer. And the second thing is, it's actually good for customer service. So I do a lot of trader returns, and so instead of going back and forth with emails and phone calls and stuff like that, you can actually just go in the Slack workspace and essentially, we'll answer and address your questions right there. So base plan, just think of it as an entry-level consultation. So the individual tax plan, what this is this is going to include anybody who trades individually in their name, as in you, as in your social security number, like you're not inside of an entity. Doesn't matter if you have a W-2 or if you're a 1099 employee. We'll cover essentially all of your your individual tax prep work. Now, if you have a business, this is going to be outside of the scope of that. But we'll also do the trader status assessment. So we'll make sure that you qualify as a trader for that year. We'll make sure that you are capturing all the business write-offs that you can get. And we'll make sure that essentially you're set up for long-term success. And so the business trader, what that is, it includes everything that's in the individual plan, but this is for the guys who trade in S corporations or 1065 partnerships, things like that. And what we do is we actually will handle your entity return as well as your personal return. So if you're in an entity, essentially the results of your activities will flow through what's called a K1, and that K1 goes through your personal return.
Hey guys, this goes beyond just stocks. He's basically a CPA that can do real estate, everything. So if you're working, you have investments in other assets, right? Real estate.
Exactly. So, a lot of guys have, other businesses. They're in real estate. They're in other things, and so we do service that as well. But again, that's outside of the scope of this tax plan. But we have standard, rates and services that we offer. So if that's something that interests you, just feel free to shoot us a message. And the last thing we do is we do an entity setup. So what happens is a lot of guys want to set up an entity in their home state. So let's just say, you're a Texas-based trader and you want to set up an LLC and you want to be taxed as an S corporation. So what we do is we actually help set that up in your home state. So we have a relationship with a legal counsel in Orlando, Florida, which is where we're based out of. They handle all the articles of incorporation. They establish the federal tax IDs, draft the operating agreements, things like that. And then our firm will handle any of the tax compliance piece. So whether you want to elect S corporation status, if you want to elect mark-to-market, we write the internal election memos and we do the trader status assessment. So if you're interested in setting up an entity, we can help you do that. If you need help with the business tax returns, we can do that. So anything tax related, we're your go-to guy. So,
cool. Hey guys. Yep, go for it, man.
Hey, just real quick, for those of you that want to go to the Foundation Room at House of Blues, if I can just get a show of hands, because they're going to want our names and wristband us when we get in. So if you could just do a show of hands so we can kind of just get a rough count.
Who doesn't want to go?
Right. Count how many people aren't going, right? Can someone help me kind of roughly count the number of hands that are up? I don't know. It looks like most people, right? I think if we assume Okay, so let's do this. So after we're done speaking and before you head out the door, if you could just go back to the Cobra table and just give us your name of who people that want to go, that would help us. We'll get that over to House of Blues, and then when you walk in, they'll wristband you, and we'll have our own section. So, thank you.
All right, so like I said, I really don't have a set schedule. So what I like to do is this, okay. I wanted to point you, because a lot of guys are just getting started. You guys probably not going to join MIC, but I want to show you guys this free resource. If you go and subscribe, there's a bunch of free videos we do. So this is a good starting point, as well as the Trading Fish on Twitter. So you guys probably know this, right? So it's there for, it's free resource for you guys. Where's Tosh at? All right. I thought about how I was going to teach you the lines. But what better person to teach you than is someone that I've taught who resisted to use this for a long time and now use it. And now, come on, man. Let's talk about that. So here Tosh is going to give you a free lesson on how to properly do lines.
Oh, do you?
Put you on the spot. How about this? I'm going to load up my trading software as well. Here, Tosh, mic yourself. All right, so when I started trading, as you guys know, every trader looks for what I call the holy grail, meaning like, oh my God, if I figure this one indicator out, I'm going to make $1 million. And they've been chasing that, and it's fake. It's bullshit. There's no such thing. If there was, there would be a bunch of guys making trillions of dollars. The best algos in the world don't even make trillions of dollars. What they do is they front run you, they make micro scalps. They're not holding out positions, right? So you see the flash boys, that's how they make their money. So the high frequency trading. So there is no holy grail indicator. What there are is a bunch of guys marketing all these tools. It's like golfing, right? If you buy this, you can save some strokes. So there's like 1 million tools out there, right? So the hard part about trading is to find it, to figure out what works for you and what doesn't. You know what? What works for me may not work for you, and vice versa, right? So you have to figure out, see what's out there and see what works for you. But for me, I reduced it down to a couple of simple things. Of course, you can add more. So I based everything. So this is how I became. This is how I never really wanted to start a service until I could figure out how can I teach someone what I know. How the hell am I going to teach someone 15 years of trading? You see what I'm saying? So I needed a simplistic way. I'm sorry, man, I'm sick. A method that I could be repeated. And so I realized, dude, I've been doing this, and I didn't realize what I was doing. I didn't know what they were. I didn't even know they were called pivot lines, by the way. I'm like, dude, there's these magic lines that fucking show up, and I just every time I trade off them, it works. And so then I started to teach Tosh. So, all right, you take over, Tosh. You explain what these lines are.
Sure. I should probably give a foundation of just like how I trade to begin with. But.
See, look at this, man. RBZ on this.
So one of the number one things I like to focus on when shorting, I'm 100% short bias, 100%. It's just how my mind works. It's what works for me. If you're long biased, I love it. I love it. Do what works for you. But most importantly, I'm looking for pre-market overhead. Something that is gapped up a lot, no catalyst, it's come down lower high, and then I can already tell that longs are in trouble. Do I hate longs? No, but I can see in the moment that they're in trouble, and I'm going to use that to my advantage for a pop in the open I'm going to short into. But here's the thing. I think, what's a good example recently? Maybe Gurn? Can we pull up Gurn? Gurn like 3 days ago was like one of my A+ setups, right?
Give me a ticker.
GERN, Gurn. Let's see. I'm just trying to find an exact example of what I talk about. So maybe we can go back to like a 4-day chart or something. So that day one move. So this day one move, boom. So it's up it's up in pre-market, and then I think this was.
I want to make it a little easier.
All good, all good.
Is this during?
We got to get TOS on here. Yeah. So if I remember correctly, I think this was pretty much pre-market, right? This was the only pop it gave in the open. I think right here and right here. I'm hitting the pivot lines. I already know that there's a ton of pre-market overhead that I am going to scale into and cause selling pressure because these longs are going to want out. So when you put the pivot lines on your chart, I'm not starting in here. I'm not starting in here. Line to line. Half of this game is trust. Outer lines. Outer lines. So when we talk about outer lines, you know, a lot of the time they hit the outer line, it fails the first time. Sometimes it fails the second, third, fourth. It's kind of a crapshoot, but I like this. I like this. So if this is the open, I like a long journey up to that pivot line. And again, it's in a fudge factor. Depending on the range of the stock, maybe 5 cents above, maybe it's 15 cents above. Every stock is different, but you want a stock making a long journey into the pivot line, right here to right here. If it opens and craters down here, then it's the next pivot line, which is the red one, 43 versus 47. If the lines are close to each other, you can scale into the next line. Again, everybody has a different comfort zone with how much they're willing to be red first. And let's be honest, we're traders, like, you're going to be red first. It's just how it is. Bao top ticks perfectly, but I mean, who's him, right? But it's the line. So what were we saying at lunch, Bao? What were we saying? Other than outer lines.
Dude.
Which one?
Talk about what you said with the lines, like how you trade. Let me see. You said it perfectly.
I know. I gave it perfectly at lunch. I'm like, okay. So basically,
it's from the outer. So notice what happens. For some reason, right? It's all based on mathematics. We don't need to talk about it, but notice how beautiful these lines are. You can channel within these 10 cents, 20 cents all day long.
Here's what it is. With shorting, you want backside. A broken day one past the point of no return, or you want to hit the day twos and the day threes. Of the stocks that gave up a lot day one, the point is I scaled Gurn day two into the pivot line because day one, the longs got bagged. The longs were super in trouble. Look what it did pre-market, hits the line, comes back down. I started scaling in the blue line, covered somewhere in there. My point is if backside's in, it's the short bias and you're scaling into the outer lines. If it's opening up at a line, wait for the next one. Everything else in between is noise. In the first hour of the day before zombie hour, we obviously like to throw on probably the majority of our size and size down after because stocks tend to, lose volume and then they ramp and do zombies. But the key is these lines, like how, and a fudge factor. So they don't always hit 100% perfect. Obviously, this spike went, through the 153 up to maybe 55, and then came back down. So again, like we can't preach enough how nothing is 100%, but it's great guidelines so you trust your process when you have a process, and that's key.
You traded that day one or day two?
I traded both. Day one, or what was this? On Gurn, I traded both. So day one, I realized there was a lot of overhead pre-market into the line. Day two, it was broken from day one, hit the line on day two. Bag holders won out. Max loss number on the day. Trading, lines, max loss number of the day. If I'm scaling something, I'm either going to get out if it just breaches the lines and hold or it hits max loss number. 1030, most of the time not in a trade. I'm doing trader calls. I'm calling up members. I'm doing PMs all day. I want to make sure you guys are out of trouble. My favorite thing is to make sure you guys are warned. In chat, what's my major thing is I don't give alerts because I don't want people following, but if I don't like the short, I'm going to let you know. Let you know, Andrew. He took a lot on my strategy, but
this cannot be learned in 1 hour.
you can't.
So the reason I bring Tosh, this is the source of that we teach, and there's a lot of MIC guys that are learning this, and it's my charts are not overly complicated.
Huge, off the line.
This is basically as simple as you can reduce it down. There should be a VWAP chart, which I don't put because I don't really. So let me.
Yeah.
Here, I'll give you the quick and dirty. Because I'm telling you, man, this has changed my life. In my opinion, technical analysis, it can be summarized to support and resistance. Okay? If you look at Prince, if you look at VWAP, everything coincides to a line. I call it the family of lines, okay? These are called... Okay, where is the better one?
No, go to GSUM day two. Perfect. It was literally perfect.
Yeah, I got sick this week, so
GSUM day two. I'm gonna show you guys. I think it was day two or day three. But
right here. Okay, yeah.
Right there. Yes.
So I played this right there.
Yeah, this is one I played too. I posted in
This
chat.
is technically day 3 of the move right here. The first day it run up, it was on people's radar, but it was a day 1. Day 2, longs got slaughtered. They just did, but it was still uptrending to the point where longs were in control from day 1. And again, like, where did the move originate? This is day 3. I started scaling here. I top ticked a little bit, covered lows. I did get ripped on here, so that's the best part about this. Risk management. The lines are far apart. You don't want to scale from this line to this line. You're dead. As Bao was always
much
saying.
money.
You want to play line to line. So I played this, top ticked this, and then I said to my guys, I have 3 trading partners I talk on the phone every single morning.
Look at it. If you're long, okay, if you were trading long and it broke this line, it went from line to line. See how accurate
Look at this.
it was?
Look at this. You could have top tick here or played around this fudge factor, covered line,
Or
first
go
line.
long, go
Then
long.
390 played perfect.
So the rule of the long is if it breaks yesterday's line right here, right? You notice it went up to the next line.
It's like, and again,
When it hit 3.7, it went down 10 cents, 20 cents. Here, let me show you.
you can draw your own lines as well to give
see
you
how
conviction.
accurate this thing is? So this is $4. Every whole number is a line, right? Is a resistance.
So can you make this a little bigger?
This?
Yeah, make it a little bigger and then like expand it side so they can see. Guys, you could have scaled this. Look how perfect this is. The first one and the second. It's into the line. Outer lines. Outer lines. I'm not hitting right here. Not hitting right here. Hit at the line and then give yourself a fudge factor. And then here's the thing. If you're shorting front side, which a little bit of this was a strong kind of front side intraday move within maybe backside of the move, front side covers. You're not looking to hold all day. This is not Gurn. It doesn't have pre-market overhead. It doesn't have, 2 days overhead.
For the guys that are doing a long strategy, always once it breaks this line on the way up, it will fake, but dude, it went right back up.
And then it played to the second line. That's the
Exact
point.
line. So you could have gone out from line to line. So if you enter this fucking...
Now who knows is the next day? Who knows is the next day? Where's the next pivot line?
Look at that line hit twice.
Just saying.
Look at that line hit twice.
We teach something that works.
It is twice up there. Cover it down to this. Remember, you have to skill in. You can't be too greedy as well.
Always hold a core. Cover 3/4 of your position. Hold for a fade. If it's front
So
side,
I traded today, like this day, that's $4. Every time it's $4, and I would short and cover every 10 cents down. So I made money on here, and I made money on here, and I made money around here.
Yeah.
So that's my concept of lines. The lines are basically support and resistance, and they're based upon what? Historical data. Okay, this is what we teach at MIC. So everything that you, in my opinion, people out there are teaching you stuff that it just fucking doesn't work, dude. It's just too fancy. So there's a lot of things. Okay, there's a lot of great traders out there, but their strategy would not work on many of you guys. You don't have enough money to be hedging with an option trade, stuff like that, right? Or to hold giant positions overnight and wish. Okay?
Well, let me say something. So, the number one thing about trading is, the reason why all these guys come from 10 different gurus and they're they have to unlearn so much is they're so overwhelmed. There's so much information out there, right? There's so much information. The first 2.5, 3 years of my trading career, I was I know up from down, but I was figuring out on the way. If MIC was created 5 years ago, oh my God. So much money I could have saved. The point is we keep it simple, man. Day 1, over VWAP, these front side, these are longs. When a broken day 1 happens and it's past the point of no return, then it's a short. Or you short day 2s and day 3s, use the lines. First hour, scale, use a fudge factor. Scaling is key. I don't care how you trade, scaling is key.
You see this? So you determine where the over or under line is.
This is RBZ?
Yeah, RBZ. You
Beautiful.
know that once it broke this line,
This was the death candle right here. That was it. I called it right there.
and so what you do is you short when it pops up.
That's it.
So notice it never went over this 190, dude.
That's why you scale.
You see that?
That's key. So you scale into the line. That's why you trust it. Give yourself a fudge factor.
This is in my opinion, this is the most. If you're shorting, this is the best pattern setup that you can ever see.
100%.
Okay? You wait to figure out what the top is. Once the top is, whenever it comes back near that top, you will short it.
And use your lines as guide.
And then the over under, which we call the true backside, would be under this line here, which is $1.90. What's this, $1.90?
Yeah, it's $1.95, $1.90 right there, yes.
And
Because that's the resistance you can
notice
start.
how clean this line is, dude. This is the support, right? You see the support every time it hit it bounced, right? That is your support. When it went under it, and it went under with authority. It didn't just hover here. It
Right under
never,
resistance.
ever broke this line again. Do you see that, guys? Every time I went back here, I added to my short. Boom, it went down. And you're done, dude. I mean,
And then this is the easiest play in the game. You're a short bias trader and you want to develop a niche. You want to get consistent. Stop hitting low flow day ones. Hit the day two pops into resistance, into bag holders, selling
so
pressure.
this line is obvious,
Get out.
right? Once you take a look at the line, this is the line is obvious. So I would be shorting here and covering. This is the easy scout I keep telling you guys in my Twitter examples.
You're a new shorter. Hit the day twos.
Or if you're long, you cannot long after. So the knowledge of the lines will prevent you from bottom fishing, something that will never bounce.
Yeah.
Once it passed the point of no return, which I call the over/under, you should. That's where the long should have no business coming. That's when you're gonna lose all your money. Okay, it will never come up. The reason why, because there's so much back holders, overhang, whatever the words you want to use.
Guys, that's it. Who's stuck? Who wants out? Longs are in trouble. It's time to short.
So
vice
at
versa.
the end of the day, the stock either goes up or goes down. It is your job to figure out what the trend is.
So Val, maybe we can pull up solo and give like the flipping.
So in the beginning, right, the trend is up. You see that? So if you're shorting, guys, you need to be covering. So Aloha Turner has a famous quote that I really love.
is the best.
Front side shorts require front side covers.
That does not mean a loss because it's a little confusing when you first think about it. It means you might just get a 20-cent drop, so cover the washes if you're scaling the spikes on the way up.
Be
Front
holding
side
and
covers.
thinking that you nailed the top.
They could be total wins, but know that 20 million, 30 million volume over, it's not going to fade all day. Why would it fade all day? It has no signs of weakness. Cover on the way up.
This is how you would trade as a long. In the beginning, the longs always have the advantage because it's on the way up.
Yeah.
It's only when the top is formed. So take a look at this formation, right? This is pre-market, guys. So every time it hit this, it bounced. So you have a channel like this, but the channel is still moving up. You see that?
Higher lows.
So it's still bullish. And that's why you have this explosion. And so when it went down, this is indeterminate. It's only when it went past this support line and never bounced. That's when it's game over.
And to stay in the game, max loss on the day. If it goes above your max loss, 300,
So ask
3,000,
yourself when
whatever.
you trade, are there more back holders or not, right? Are guys that are stuck? Because what a back holder does is this. Once they're stuck, they're waiting to break even and to sell. And so the moment, anytime it pops up, I want to get the hell out if I'm stuck, right? And so it causes this avalanche of selling. So you take advantage of that. And so that's why when it comes down, every time it bounces, it will make a new low. Until it breaks this line again. This is real slow, but right here.
The lines give you confidence, and they break FOMO a lot because you go, look, I'm not trading unless it hits my line. FOMO kills us all.
So this is what we teach. This is, in my opinion, no one teaches this, and I taught this to Tosh like a year ago before we launched MIC.
And then I teach it to guys. I taught it to Andrew, and now we use levels. We use levels. Pre-market levels. Look, if you want to draw your own lines, you can, but respect them. You know, if there's something overhead, say this was all pre-market and this is the open, we'll still use your lines. I say go for the pivot lines and use your lines, but to each his own.
Let's stop to take questions, and then okay, I'll let you fill it. My voice. So you have any questions?
Any questions? Oh, yo, go ahead.
I just got a quick question. The lines are very important, and I know Bob doesn't use VWAP, but could you talk about how the VWAP and the lines interact, and then that's almost like a double down?
That's more of a bow question, yeah.
I do use VWAP, but I'll tell you how I use it. VWAP is very misleading. Just because it's under VWAP doesn't mean the stock is dead. And that's why we have a zombie, right? That's why we have a zombie. So I always start with my lines. And each major line, between this, there's like 10 lines, right? You have to figure out which ones are the important major lines. And those are the ones I look at. So the lines consist of resistance and support as well as pivot lines. Okay? They're all what I call the family of lines, which is basically resistance and support. And so whenever I look at a point, and I want to see if bag holders, so I'll give you an example. Look at this chart here. I determined that the over-under line is 190. This is 190, okay? Right? Because if it goes under here, it ain't going to recover because everybody bought over, right?
All the volumes and the chasing and the buying.
So what I do is this. At that time, I look at the VWAP just to confirm what I see in the line. It should confirm. VWAP should be way over this line. It is. But the fact is, I don't need to know VWAP, but the VWAP gives me confirmation. So I use my lines first, and then I look at the VWAP to confirm what makes sense. And most of the time, the lines are exactly what VWAP is, dude. It's very scary. If you take a look at that, the lines match up to the VWAP. Go, you do it, dude. You and Alex, go, man. Oh, shoot, man.
Next time we'll have 2 mics.
So after this, we'll take questions, and you'll talk about the psychology and stuff.
Let's see if I can answer your question. Yes. Pivot lines in Thinkorswim, they're SVE pivots, and we have me and Joe Kelly. Well, mostly Joe Kelly put together a video. It's under our video library. Sign in with your Slack login. It's my DOS tutorial, and at the end of it, within DOS and within Thinkorswim, this is Realtic. We don't use this anymore. This is kind of grandfathered position, but Thinkorswim, we have it. Can put it on easy. It's amazing. They match up almost to the cent. So.
This is like DOS. 1900.
Yeah, this is a very old platform. Don't even ask about this, guys. It's not available anymore. But
You know, dude, it works for me. This is how simple it is. I don't put anything funny on it. You know?
yeah,
You know?
it's simplicity. Kiss. Keep it simple, stupid. Yes.
So there's your lines, the lines that the trader makes, and then there's the pivot line.
Well, you know, look. Here's the thing. You want to coincide, right? If I'm shorting day 2, and it's making a big move in the morning, and I know smoke day 1, right? I couldn't get a borrow on this. I would have killed for a borrow on RBZ on, what was it, Friday. I have a line right here. This is an area zone where it failed. This is like an area of interest. So I'm going to use this line to start scaling. I'm going to scale my size and or the conviction at the pivot. But again, it's made a big move up into this resistance area that failed day 1. Boom. Fudge factor. Key.
So this is the sort of stuff we teach. So I mean, this may confuse you at first, but like I said, you can't learn this in one day. But
How are these different from Fibonacci retracements?
this Fibonacci is basically based upon the number. So I don't use Fibonacci. In my opinion, I don't think it's as accurate.
Fibonacci retracements for the way down. So when it's topped, I like Fibonacci retracement, but even still, pivots.
I use this because this is based upon actual tricks.
This one's a good example of the line at $4 right here. It's SPI. You can see over here, it broke that $4 line, broke down, tested 4 again, failed, and then the next day, day 2, 4 again, failed.
And look, it's not even a pivot line. Draw your own lines.
Like Val said, the whole number is always a line.
Whole number.
$4 is the line.
Always.
You draw your own lines, and then over time you'll see which ones are insignificant, what I call like the inside lines, and there's the main line, which is the outside. So the rule of thumb is this: the more extreme you put, the less likely you'll hit, right? But if it hits, dude, you're pretty much in the money.
And if you're scaling right, that first test of that major line, whether it be $4, whether it be $4.50, or a huge pivot line, it usually fails the first time.
See, explain this. Because, dude, when you wake up that day on 2/12,
And this is day 2. So
and
this
if
is,
you're patient to wait for that $4 line,
this is what you nailed it. I remember you had a picture of that.
Day 1, baby. Day 2. My first entry, literally first tick, and my only tick I got on because I didn't mean a top ticket, was 412. I think it had a high of 415 this day. What'd I do? FOMO? No. I waited, dude. That's where
I would have scaled
lines.
So I would have scaled around the $4 to that, so I get more size. But you notice, like, dude, the lines are dead on.
Oh, what was another? PTI. Can we pull that up?
Does it also matter how fast they get to those lines?
Dude, I like it to hit and then just never come back.
It's
like that.
But
fast. I put them out before even. I put this out, so that's going to lead me to the next with the trigger. So I put all my orders out, guys. I'm telling you. So this is something that well, actually let's talk this before we talk that. So I want to bring up Joe Kelly. Where's Joe?
Joe. In the bathroom? Yo, yeah, go ahead.
What term do you use for it? Is like acceleration?
Acceleration on the tape.
Can you explain that a little better? Because I mean,
that's reading the tape. You're talking about reading the tape.
There you want to explain?
The Prince accelerator.
Hey, let me give you that.
I'm going to put this here, so don't walk away too far from it.
So I guess I'll give you a little tip on tape reading. This has nothing to do with the lines, but this is something. So I mean, this is the only type of tape reading I do, okay? There's two types. People talk about reading the tape. The problem with reading the tape is this, I'm going to tell you guys. It's like reading Chinese. I think I understand what she's talking about. No, you know, that's why you have these guys, like, what was her name? Like tattooing something on her finger. 2 rings, and it's like, I like barbecue or something.
Mama Tuos.
You remember that girl? Was that? What was her name? Yeah, she tattooed some Japanese words on her finger for 2 rings, and it turns out to be like a small barbecue grill. Google that's funny. Yeah, man. So I was gonna make a video on this, but this tape reading wouldn't help you with this scenario because it's too quick. So what I like to do actually is so where's Joe? This leads into exactly what's Joe. So which tape reading is this? When I start with my lines, always my lines. So when it hits the 410, whatever, right? The $4 line, I look at my level 2. And at the speed at which it is printing would help determine what is the top. So this is how I talk to you a lot. Okay, I know when the top color is because of this. So you guys can get a freebie right here. Like a car, right? When a car drives and it accelerates and it speeds past whatever before it makes the U-turn, it has to slow down, right? You can't instantaneously drive a car and get instantaneous U-turn. You have to turn it around. Just like physics. Throw a ball up in the air. It will slow, it will accelerate, and then at the top, it will slow and then move down. Same thing with a stock. I'm looking at not the numbers, okay, guys? Just look at the colors. Just look at this.
The speed ups, slow downs.
You know, like the time in cells, right? See how fast they're printing. And when you see, so if a huge, like if a pump room say, I'm buying the stock, all of a sudden, right? And then eventually it's going to slow down, the price slow down. That means there's less buying than not. It's like the car slowing down. That's when you know, hey man, the temporary top doesn't mean that's the ultimate top, right? The temporary top is there. That's when you can learn to sell if you're long or short there. But make sure you cover whatever you need to do. So the trick to reading tape is this. It's not, you start with the lines, because otherwise you just stare at the tape all day long. You don't know what the hell you're doing, right? So I call it areas of interest. When it hits a $4 line, I look at the level 2 and see the speed at which it breaks. This is all momentum, okay? For later days like this, it doesn't really help you because it's too slow. But to determine on a momentum parabolic top or momentum parabolic bounce, this is how I determine the top and bottom. If it comes down, it's all selling, right? When the print starts to slow down, the selling is slowing down. The car is reversing, then it's going back up. Same thing, it shoots up, it slows down. The print starts to slow down. You understand what print, like the time in cells. So that's how I can read this shit. That to me is tape reading. There's 2 types of tape reading. That tape reading helps you figure out what the parabolic tops and bottoms are of a bounce. Okay? The second is a hidden seller or a hidden buyer. A guy shows up with 500, but he's like eating not like 10,000, 20,000, 100,000 prints. He's hiding for a reason, right? Same thing on the sell side. You see a guy who has like 100 shares, dude, you can't break him, right? And so if I wanted to buy something, and I want to buy 10,000 shares, I'm not going to show 10,000 shares because no one's going to sell it because I have now the support. I would show 500 shares and you can hit me all day long. But if I show 10,000, most likely, or I show 100,000, I'm trying to sell, right? So it's like poker's bluff, right? It's the bluff in poker. So if you see a large bid, you're like, why is he doing this? He's doing this either to sell or he's actually pushing it up for a reason. So those are the type of tape reading I do. Don't think too much of tape reading. In bulletin boards, which is a penny stocks, level 2s mean a lot. But when you're trading NASDAQ, start with the lines. Charts is everything. I look at the chart, then I look at my level 2. Okay? So don't fall into the level 2 game, because I can manipulate level 2. I can put in whatever sizes I want. You would think I'm a real buyer, but I'm actually selling. And all of a sudden, where the hell did the bids go? That was all my bids. And that's what the algos do all day long. I didn't want to really talk about it because that might confuse you, but start with the lines.
Yeah, guys, I get PMs all the time, literally every single day. Like, how do I learn tape? Like, can I be your taper? I'm like, you've been trading a month. Learn price action, man. Learn it's in the patterns, bro. Learn the patterns first.
Do you have any examples where you draw the pivot lines from based on daily chart versus the intraday?
Daily as in, oh yeah, okay. You go, I have a ton of these videos on YouTube for free. So it shows you the whole thing. So it's called my daily recap. So it's too long to talk about here, but there's a lot of the free videos called daily recap, and you start in the YouTube. I have full-blown like hour-long videos in the beginning. We stopped doing those and doing those for members only now, because in my opinion, if you go to YouTube and the beginning daily recaps, those are better in my opinion than any DVD you're ever going to buy. We talk about how the process right in the beginning, looking at the scanner, figuring out this stock. Now taking a look at the year chart and zooming it in, and that's what you're talking about daily, right? To get to the lines. So these lines, I mean, I'll just start here, guys. This is a very simplified version. I start with a year out. Then I start zooming in, and then I get to this level. Then I look at filings, all that. So there are videos that are free for that. Shoot. Oh yeah, Joe. So talking to you, Joe, yesterday, a lot of you guys work, and you would love to take advantage of how to do this, because I'll tell you how to trade this, okay? If you can program an algo to trade, this is what the algo would do. This is the first day, right? The algo would say this: I determined that $4 here. Wait, right? This is pretty obvious. This is a line, right? I would write a program that says when it comes there, short. Okay? And what happens when you do that? Either I take a stop loss at the next line, or I take profits here. That's all I want, right? I want a profit between here and here, because this is where it's supported, right? I'm not greedy. This would give me 30 cents. That's a 30-cent move, guys. 30 cents. I would program that to the algo. It hit it, right? And it covered. I'm done. Dude, the market just opened 9:30. Within a minute, I made 30 cents. 2,000 shares of that, which is an 8,000 position. You made $600. Am I right? You guys see that, right? It repeated itself. So, but the problem, you got to go to work, and you have FOMO, you hit it too early, you lose. So we talked about this, and there are things called the trigger order, which I wanted you to talk about. So we're making videos. You don't have to explain the whole thing, but this is how this is how people that are working can work with MIC, because we develop these trading plans pre-market, guys. You can program all this into an algo, which he will show you how to do it. You're done, dude. And it's pretty much like, dude, you have no FOMO because the program says you don't execute it, it's there. You will automatically stop loss because you figure out when the stop loss is, and you automatically take money out. So this is a way for you to go to work, do your due diligence at 8 o'clock in the morning, and have these patterns. These patterns happen every day. Just talking about generically, because you're going to make a video for the members.
Yeah. So, guys, forgive my voice if you've never been out to dinner with Val. So, the way that what he's talking about for part-time traders is what you would use for like a trigger order, and then you would use range orders outside of that. So, I didn't discover this on my own, to be honest with you 100%. I got to give all the credit to Chris at Cobra, because he showed me how to make the trigger orders, and then I just went further and further into that. And so what you do in DOS is you would, or any other platform, you can pull up your stop, and you could say, let's say like what Kyle was saying is you're going to short the 415. Is that 415?
410. Yeah, about 410, 415.
410 and 415. And like Aloha pointed out the other day, it's whenever it hits a point on the chart that invalidates your trade thesis, that's your stop. Whenever your idea sucks past that point. So, like the first pass here, obviously you're like, oh God, it could go further. So you stop at that point, but what happens is, oh, here we go.
It's slow. You're tall enough to like go there.
Yeah.
The person's really slow.
So let's say here, you would set a trigger order that says when it gets in this range here, let's say you want to short at like 407, 408, whatever it is, and you want a range order to go live as soon as that order triggers. When that order triggers, a range order goes in that says you're going to stop out full position if it goes past whatever the highest point of that little perk right there was. But if that doesn't happen and it drops, and let's say you want to make 30 cents or whatever it is, we're going to use hindsight bias and say we would have bottom ticked it because
I would come at the bottom of that last line.
Yeah, right here. So on 360, right? 360.
Or just even higher to be sure, right? Take the mean.
Right. Yeah. So you're shorting there, and then your cover target is down there, and it's one singular order, and so you have a stop target, and then you have a profit target, and you basically remove all of your emotion. And if you do that, you're able to go. Because I don't know if you're like me. Sometimes I get, and I'm like, oh my god, the level 2 is gonna break. It's gonna break. It's gonna break. Oh my god.
You're emotional all the time.
And I'm like, duh, and I'm out. And I top ticked it with a cover.
Yeah. Top tick out.
Yeah, top tick out. And so you start getting all panicky. But if the print never happens, the trigger or the range order never gets stopped out, and then you're right back in the money. And so that's how you can remove the emotion from it with just one singular order and what he's talking about. But over the next few weeks, I'll do a bunch of videos that have the breakdown on how to do that in DOS and how to do that in other platforms, and how to go further into.
Well, we got to thank Chris. Chris, I hope he pointed this out. The reason why I think this is very important, guys, because a lot of trading comes. It's like I can teach you the mechanics and the strategy, which we do, right? So you have to learn that first. You have to learn the mechanics of making a trade, and then you have to learn the strategies. If you do this on your own, guys, good luck. I lost a lot of money before I figured anything and stuff, right? So bypass this, learn it, and then. But even if you learn the mechanics and the strategies, the emotional side is what screws many traders up. In my opinion, most traders. I know that at that 410 where the arrow is, I should be shorting or selling, right? But when it hits there, I'm scared. I'm like, oh shit, what if it goes to the $5? This fear prevents me from entering. And then what happens is that it goes straight down, and you're like, dude, I could have made 50 cents in like 1 minute. I'm so stupid. I was right. So what do? You have FOMO. And so you load up the next time, and that's how you lose. Okay? And so how do I prevent from having FOMO and all that? There's a couple ways. The best time to make a trade is when you're not in the trade, when it's not even moving there yet. I call that process, or it's the planning. So I plan where my orders are going to be. I place my orders, dude. I put my orders there pre-market. It's a small enough order where I can add it. For you, it could be just one order. It's fine, right? Market maker is not going to scare about 2,000 shares, right? So don't worry about your 1,000, 2,000 shares of that stock, right? So I do put out an order there. I put out my first order, like 2,500 shares or whatever, right? Because that is when I thought, that was when my mind was the most clear. Before we got there, right? Pre-market, the price was at here. Pre-market was here, dude. 370. I never thought 410 would hit. That's what I call a fantasy order. A fantasy order that, oh my God, I wish it got back to here so I can short it, right, guys? Why not just put the order out? What's the harm? So that's what I do every day, and that's why I top tick. I put my fantasy orders out, and it comes to me. And it's so remarkably accurate. Because if it doesn't hit, it doesn't hit. I don't lose anything. So you place these orders out before. So that's a trick to prevent. I call it like getting drunk. It's like pre-market is before I enter the bar. The market opens, I'm drinking, right? And then when the trade comes to me, I'm already drunk. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. So I'm doing all this before the action hits. And so with a trigger order, which is a chain order, which is like a conditional order, like what Joe is going to show you how to do, it eliminates a lot of the FOMO. Makes sense? Because you type, it's an algo. You type in your, so talk over your trade. So let's take this scenario. This is a good scenario. So let's go with this scenario now. What is your dream price? Well, obviously my dream price would be here. It doesn't hit. This day, it's dead. It's the third day. Usually it doesn't work as well because the volume is dead. You don't make any money. There's no money anyways. So the strategy works on the day 2. And that's what we call a low-hanging fruit. And that's where the term low-hanging fruit comes, because it's like the easy money, dude. It's the easy money. If you just avoid the day 1, which we call the hot chick, a lot of people get burned on the hot chick because, like, look at this move, dude. It went from $3.90 to almost $5. If you're too early, you get blown out. You're going to the top, right? And so, a new trader wait for the formations to hit, and then just attack the day 2. Now you already know your wish list, your fancy orders, and so that's where the triggers can come to help you. Okay, and so the guys are working, which is great. It's like, dude, you don't have to do this full time. Okay, you pre-market is where you do your planning. Place your orders in. By the open, it should hit. If it doesn't hit, it doesn't hit. But look how accurate this is. This happens every day, guys. You can make 30 cents. Dude, a 1,000 share order is $300. That's probably more than what I made my first. That's what I made in 1 week, my first job, right? And it's like these are the tricks that Cobra helped us figure out too. So Joe's going to put a video on that. So for the guys that are working, this is how you can join and benefit too. You don't have to sit around, because sitting around sometimes gives you FOMO and you get bored. This is where the tab comes in. The tab will slap you in the back of the head. What are you doing, dude? You should be waiting for the lines. If it doesn't hit, if it's not a perfect order, why are you getting it? Right? Just wait for the next day. You don't have to trade every day. Go to your job, come back, and you make an extra $300. And when it hits, it hits.
Alan Wiggins, what did he just say in chat about his remember?
Yep. So I had a friend at home. He made a lot of money the first year trading. He thought he could do a full time. So he quit his job. He did full time, and he lost $400,000. That's because he was over trading. Then he went back to work because he lost $400,000, right? And then he made $800,000 the next year because he only traded the first hour. The rest of the day was a zombie that killed a lot of people, right?
He thought he would keep making money by continually trading all day. No, play the open, go to your job.
Give me another ticker, guys. One more ticker, then we'll talk.
One question. So Solo, second day didn't really pay convincingly like that.
In the flat line, Solo is $5.
This is, there we go.
650.
So these are harder. I don't even really touch these. The reason I don't touch this is the main play. This is the main play that triggered all the sympathy plays. I don't touch the main play because the main play is very tricky, guys. It can run on for another 3 days. So I'm waiting. Me and Alex are waiting for the sympathy plays. So I'm waiting for the top to hit. Okay. So this is where I would get in. Dude, the second day of this, I don't even touch, dude. Seriously, I'm like too scared. I hit on this day. So I waited. So this is where in chat, remember I posted 487? Up there too. This is a very hard example. I don't touch these. These I don't touch, dude. This is how you lose all your money. You don't touch the main plays. You touch the plays that have died already, or the sympathy plays that spawn from this, such as this. FUV, which I can't locate. So I mean, but notice how this line, once it comes up, this is really slow. So see, day 2, it died, right? So this was the thing. So once again, I mean, dude, these lines are not going to give you exact. If it was easy, everybody would be rich. but at least it gives you guidelines. You put in your fantasy orders. It may not hit, but the other ones hit. RBZ hit. Here's RBZ. Once it broke, so my whole point is like, hey man, the best thing you could do is not get filled and not lose money. But when you fill, the odds are with you. And that's how I trade. You don't need to nail every single one of these. Some of these are too hard. I say, screw it. I'm not going to touch it. Make sense? So I want to talk, before we talk about this, I'm talk about Alex and talk about some psychology. Yeah.
Who's going to hold in my hand with the mic?
And then we can talk, after this, we can talk about
Yeah, whatever you want.
the coupon.
Sounds good. What's up, guys? Everyone hear me all right? Cool. So what happens after you figure out all the mechanics and you know what to do everything and you have it down to a science? The next aspect is the mental game, right? It's the mental game of figuring out how you're going to do this, because essentially at this higher end level, once you figure out the lines and once you figure out the mechanics and once you figure out the system, the only thing left is yourself. You are your biggest enemy in trading. If your mindset is not correct, if you're having a fight with your girlfriend or you just had a fight with your tab or whatever it is, you're going to very quickly realize that your trading is going to be negatively influenced by these negative aspects in your life. So something that has kind of helped me, which I'm very thankful for, is that I work with Dr. Brett Steenbarger every single week. And for those of you that don't know who that is, he is the top trading psychologist in the business. So he's worked with Paul Tudor Jones and like a bunch of big-time people. And essentially what we do during our meetings is we don't talk about the mechanics, we talk about the mental aspect of trading. So we dive deep into what has been working and what has not been working based on my own statistics. So for example, in January I had 8 losing days. And 8 losing days is a lot more than usual for me. And we went back at the beginning of February and we tried to really buckle down and find out what the hell happened in January that screwed up my trading, right? It wasn't really my sizing. It really wasn't anything except for the fact that I was sitting at the desk all day, right? My biggest problem is I have no discipline when it comes to cutting myself off. I'm a junkie. I'm addicted to. I love trading, and I always feel like if I'm not at the desk from 9:30 to 4, then I'm going to be missing opportunity. And I hate missing opportunity more than anything. I want to be able to capitalize on the opportunities in front of me. So when FOMO, it's FOMO, right? So even at this level, I'm still afraid that I'm going to miss out on a play. So I sit there all day waiting for something to happen, and if nothing happens, I create a scenario in my head that forces me to get into the trade. So after talking to Dr. Brett about this and even talking to Bao about this, it's come to the very simple rule that in February, I cut off my trading past 11 a.m. So at 10:30 a.m., it's always the zombie time, and I always look to unwind my trades into 10:30. And then I give myself another half hour to sit at the desk because I'm a little bit addicted, and I have no problem admitting that. So at 11 o'clock, I cut myself off. And what I've noticed is not only does that yield to higher P&L every single day, I'm avoiding the midday chop like on Solo. Like, let me see if I can pull it up.
Yeah, click that and type Solo.
Like over here. So I don't know if I could zoom into this, but essentially what I did, I had a really big day on day 2 of Solo. Can we just pull up day 2? Like just that day?
Do 3 days.
Yeah, that's fine. So come back to Solo. So what I saw in Solo that really yielded to a great trade for me is what I talked to Dr. Brett about is being able to take a paper cut on the way up so that when it does finally reverse and has this downtrend, that I am in the right mental capacity to be able to hit it with a clear head. Because if you're stuck, let's say on day 1 and you're holding short and you're being stubborn, eventually maybe it's going to work out, but unless you have a big bankroll, which most people don't have, you're going to be dead instantly. So the thing that he told me is as long as you're not getting yourself stuck and you're staying small on the way up, when it does finally turn, you're going to be making so much money that it doesn't even matter. So fast forward to solo on day 2. I saw a very clear line at 650 because I was using this level from pre-market.
Talk about day one, how you left when you saved yourself.
Oh yeah,
This is the
even
song
better,
right here.
even better. So if you look, so I was trading solo in the morning, and I think I was one of the few traders that actually made money on solo on day 1 because I left. I literally left at 11 a.m. on the dot, which is right when it started to get more volume and started to uptrend. So if I didn't stay, or if I did stay past 11 a.m., I would have been shorting every pop and getting smoked every single time. But the time of day rule, the 11 a.m. rule, saved me from getting destroyed on the first day so that on day 2, I could really capitalize on it. So even on day 2, you could very clearly tell that on past 11 a.m. is when it started to kind of form a bottom. And if I stayed the entire day trying to short it and short it and short it past 11 a.m., I would have been smoked into $6. But instead, I took the easy money on this downtrend, and I made the most amount of money with the least amount of stress because I found that the timing rule, the zombie rule, actually does work for these stocks. So I keep it really simple now. I keep it really simple that if the stock is holding trend past 10:30, I have no reason to stay. There's no reason to stay. Even if it's breaking down past 11 a.m., eventually these things are going to bounce because the volume just shrinks. And like Romel was saying, he's tracking it, and it does work. Past 11 a.m. to start to go long on these setups.
See, this is a scenario that kills guys. So Chad was talking about this. So I made a video on this, right? The hardest hurdle in trading is not making money, is keeping your money. You can make money 20 straight days. Is that one red day that you fuck up like this, game over.
Yeah.
Okay? You made money for 20 straight days. You think, oh man, I'm good. This shit will never happen. So what happens? You stick around. Dude, this is 10:30.
It's 10:30 on the dot.
This is right here.
It's on the dot.
And,
yeah.
And you're like, oh shit, this must be the top.
And it's 10:30 on the dot on day 2 as well.
This must be the top. This must be the.
Yeah.
You're done.
It's just as simple as I make most of my money. I don't trade pre-market anymore because, again, FOMO. I'm trying to eliminate my biggest problem we've gotten down with Dr. Brett is I have a lot of FOMO. I hate missing opportunity. So a quote that he gave me is worry about missed consistency and not missed opportunity. Forget the opportunity. There's going to be opportunity every day, but you should be focusing on consistency. So going back to this example, every single day now, I'm leaving at 11 a.m. I'm avoiding the midday chop on day 1. I'm avoiding the bounce on day 2. And day 3, I'm avoiding being stuck as well. So for me, I've noticed that I'm making the most amount of my money trading 1.5 hours a day. Right? I trade from 9:30 to 10:30, 11 o'clock. And that's yielded to better profits for me. So just going back to the core of everything, it's just realize what's working for you, realize what's not working for you, and the 10:30 rule is real. So if you are short, look to cut off your trades by 10:30, and if you're long, look for that shrinking volume to go long past 10:30 into 11 o'clock.
If a stock is still trending near the high by 10:30, 11, look to long.
Correct.
Because the shorts are getting trapped.
I got a question. You say on shrinking volume 10:30 to 11.
Yep.
So you looking for volume to start coming back in on the?
I'm looking for the volume to shrink down. Then when it starts to come back in is when that zombie move essentially ends up happening. Because
you can't really see this, but right here, the volume bars are like nothing. They got rid of all the selling. So the shorts actually think they're winning.
Yeah.
Look at the short, because this is holding this line all day, right, guys? But it's holding it way too high by the time 10:30 comes. Boom, out of nowhere. This is what we call the zombie. You're like, what the fuck? Right? I thought this was the top. Right? And all of a sudden, what the fuck?
And then it
You
goes.
add more, right? You're like, this must be the top.
Yeah.
Then what the fuck? And then pretty much.
And then it pulls a White Walker move.
So that's where you use things like VWAP. But VWAP really doesn't really tell you. Yeah. What I look at is like, dude, is it still bullish? It's not breaking down. For me, dude, I just get the fuck out. Seriously, I don't want to even risk it. I mean, I made my money and get the hell out. Right, guys?
Our goal is to make the most amount of money with the least stress as possible. And what we've noticed is like trading together every day is we make the most amount of our money within the first hour. So why are we sitting there for the rest of the day trying to get scraps when we know that essentially we get stuck every single time? Every single time we get stuck past 10:30. So for me, myself, in February, I've had only one red day. And that was the only red day that I have is because I stuck around past 10:30 again. I went back to my old habit and it showed me you're a fucking idiot. Don't do that shit, you know? So it's just going back to what's been working and what's not been working. Again, like Joe says, I track my stats every single day. I plug my trades into TraderView. I see that even my win rate has gone up in February. I think I'm at 82% win rate in February because the 10-30 rule. I'm winning fucking 82% of the time because I'm cutting off my trades by 10-30. So if
you're, like I said, there's a lot of strategies that you can do. He's a short.
Yeah.
Okay?
You could go long after 10:30.
If you see a scenario where it's still hovering at the high, and the volume is dying down, the volume bar is dying down, it doesn't hurt to go long. Once it breaks it, you wait. So what Aloha does is he waits for this line to break.
Yeah.
Then he buys, he slams on, he hits the offer. But that's a strategy. So you don't have to anticipate. You confirm. So this line has been holding all morning, right? So at around 11 o'clock, I'm gonna watch it because it's the zombie hour. I'm gonna wait for it to break the high of day, and then fucking add. Make money right there.
Yeah.
And every time it breaks a new high day, because now it's already zombie all the way up. Shorts are fucking trapped. The other stocks, the RBC, it was going down, so it's the reverse. So I could continue to stay in that stock and trade. You see what I'm saying? So it doesn't mean stop trading. It's like, don't fight this because it looks so damn attractive. It's up 200%. It looks like a top, you know.
Yeah, just keep it simple. Keep it simple. I mean, like, we're not here to be trading all day, every single day. I've noticed that if I stay at the desk all day, I lose money more than trying to make more money. So trading is not like if you sit at the desk for longer, you're going to make more money. That's not how it works. It's essentially even the less time that you spend there, the better it's going to be because your mindset is correct. You're taking the meat of the move. You're taking the easy money. I'm taking
the blackjack.
Yeah, the 20, right? So the way it works is like you're going to get, say you have 2 jacks in blackjack.
So imagine like you imagine you're at a casino and you don't have to place a bet. You can see your blackjack cards first and then you bet. How powerful, how much money would you make, right? I'm only going to wait for 20, then I'll fucking bet, right? But 20 may still lose at 21. So nothing's 100%. So you never want to go all in like an idiot, right? But you want to play the high probability blackjack hands. That's the same thing with trading. You decide which hand you want to play. Why are you playing a 16? Right? On a blackjack. So that's the analogy for this. It's like, dude, you wait for the right scenario.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not a hero. What I saw very clearly is the line at 650 here. And I posted my watch list on that day, and I said, if it goes to 650, I'm going to short at 650. And it gets exactly 650, and it goes down to $5. And I was telling Bao, like, because he was sick that day or whatever, he's like, what'd you trade or how'd you trade? I said, I traded 650 to $5. And he's like, shit, that's exactly what it should be. And then if I stayed and I got greedy and I said, shit, this is still up from $2. Let me see if it's going to go even lower. You see right here, 1030 on the dot. You would get shorted the bottom. You would say, okay, it's probably going to make its way back down to this next line. And you get blown out over here. So again, the 10:30 rule, 11 a.m. rule has been working for me. If I cut off my trades, not only do I have more money in my pocket, I'm also less stressed. And the less stressed that you are, the better that you perform every day. Because again, trading is mental at this point, and you need to be calm, cool, and collected to be able to be focused enough to see these setups when you're sober and not drunk. Like Bao said, like when you're at the bar, right? So just keep it simple. Just keep it simple. Even right here, you could tell very clear line of $5. $5 on the dot. And that's where you were shorting that day too. I remember. That's where I shorted too. I shorted at $4.95. Risked 5 cents to make 20 cents. I covered on this candle and I called it a day for the rest of the day. I don't need to be here trying to catch every single meat of the move. I don't need to be here waiting for it to bounce and then covering. And it's not my style. I've done that. I've tried it. And not only did it yield to less P&L, it yielded to more stress, which again, negatively influences your life. You know what I'm saying? There's been so many times where people have such bad trades and they lose money and they lash out on their family or their friends because like they're just an easy target. So with this system, just leaving at 11:30, I have more money, I have less stress, I'm happier. Like this works for me. So again, it just goes back to find what works for you, track your statistics, and hopefully you find yourself your own 10:30 rule that's going to work for you. Question? What's up?
In terms of skating, say 5,000 shares is my max.
Okay.
How do you go about it?
I'll tell you how I did this solo example. So my plan was to short 15,000 shares towards the 650 level, right? So what I talked to Dr. Brett about, I emailed him before this trade, the day before, because I want to talk to him to see what his perspective was, like how maybe he could have helped me. And he's like, if you want to use 15,000 shares, that's no problem. But on the front side of the move, I want you to only use 1,500 shares. I want you to use a tenth of your size so that you learn the personality of the stock, you learn how the stock is trading, and then when it does give you that death signal that you could very clearly tell that once that $6 hold, like the $6 line broke, it was very clear that that's when I need to pile in. So I slowly started to add in and added 620, added more, 610, added more, $6 added more, and then added to the winner. I always start to now add on the way down to my winner rather than adding on the way up because I want to be able to risk off a set level rather than be stuck and trying to jam it higher and higher. So again, I got to my 15,000 shares at, I don't know, it's called 615 average. Once it broke down, risking that 650 level. So I'm risking 30 cents to make $1. It's clear. I would take that trade 100 times. Like Bao said, to me, I get 2 jacks at blackjack. But there's going to be that one time where the dealer gets 21. That doesn't mean that my system doesn't work. That just means it's law of probability. You're not going to be right every single time. But it doesn't mean that you hit less the next time you get 2 jacks.
But you can't be all in at that one.
Oh, exactly. You're never all in, ever. Ever. That doesn't never, ever.
So a lot of times you can do this. If you don't have confidence and discipline, don't leave big money in your account. I always leave a certain amount where I know if I get stupid that, hey man, it's not going to ruin me, right? Because you never know, man. A lot of times, so this is why I always have a tab. Because seriously, when I'm trading myself, I get stupid. Because you don't know. It's like a rage, right? You're like, and then you wake up and like, what the fuck did I do? So watch my videos on that, dude. It's like how to take a stop loss. Watch on that. Because in this game, man, you can be right. It's that one loss that you need to fear. It's not always that one loss that wipes everybody
And
out.
always having a max loss number. So if your max loss number on the day is $500, if you're at $200 or $250, you should already be thinking about how the hell am I going to exit this trade before it gets to that max loss number. Like Bao says to me, just because you have a max loss number doesn't mean you have to hit it every single time. If it's halfway there, you're probably doing something wrong already. So look to find a way to mitigate that risk.
Well, before you had a max loss of like $30,000, I'm like, and you're like, I stopped out. I'm like, dude, but why didn't you stop out $30,000 every time?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Just because you have a stop. So now it's like you're taking it slower on the front side.
And that one losing day that I have, I lost $2,500. The next day I made $5,000. It's all a matter of keeping your losses small, like Chad said, so that you could stay in the game.
Just because his max loss is $30,000 doesn't mean he has to lose $30,000.
Correct.
And
Correct.
this was a game ender. I promise you that this stock, a move like this, and this is a small move. 3 to 5 is a small move. We almost stocks that it went from
AWX.
3 to 12, 3 to 50. Those, I mean, a move this big, fully margined, all in, that's a game over. That's it.
Yep.
So that's an example. It doesn't have to be an exponential move. That's just a game over if you're all in. So there's no reason.
Because if you use your full 4 to 1, right? You only need to be down 25% to lose half your account. Wait, or 100%. Yeah, 25% down to lose your entire account.
Look at that.
And you're speaking from experience, Mari. The number of
Which one
times
is
we
this?
get risk control and
AWX
everything,
groceries.
the number of times people complain that they can't, their
Oh, crap.
maximum share, they
Frozen.
want more than 50,000
AWX.
shares. Or they want
Oh,
more
yeah.
than
Yeah, that's
X amount.
not taking your loss.
it.
Oh, shit. Here. Uh-oh. Here's the
So like Chad said, solo is a $3 move. What happens when you have a $30 move like this?
AWX.
You start owing money, right? That's if you don't have your discipline, you're destroyed. So again,
This is the crippler. I know so many people that lost like $1 million on this.
yeah. That's the power of the stop. If you have that max loss number, you're never going to get destroyed in anything like this because you're going to have risk rules set in place. And if you can't control yourself or you have a problem, find a tab that's going to help you.
Dude, once again, 10:30 was around here. You better get the fuck out. Most of this happens during the zombie hour. That's true. Even here, dude, this bottom tick was 10:30, guys. You thought you nailed it. Dude.
But shit like this happens. Shit like this happens. And if you don't have risk rules in place or if you don't have a system to be able to stop out the max loss number or time of day number or whatever it is, you're just going to be another statistic. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to be another statistic. You don't want to be the guy that lost $1 million on a trade like this. It's just, you don't need to. You don't need to. But people get stubborn and human emotions come in the way, and that's why, again, you need a tab. You need someone that's going to keep your shit in check. Whenever I'm not talking, Bal slaps me, right? He's like, what the hell are you doing, bro? What are you still doing here? It's noon. Or if I tell him, it's the same thing. His system is the same way.
Here, before you guys want to go, I have a really special thing. We never give discounts, okay? But we're going to talk about that after Tosh shows the Slack.
I just want to show our platform, guys, and like what the chat room is all about. Just while we have a second, Alex, do you feel like you got the rest of your thought process? So, guys, this.
Show my personal message.
So, let me filter.
That's what I'm right there.
So, there you go. So this is our platform. This is Slack, and I'm going to show you the main. These are all PMs down here, but this is the main trading room. So, guys, we have, like, every morning we post our watch list. It is a collective experience. We have the tab program. We have a tab manager, Woody, Paul Nelson. You message him if you need help, if this is your style, or you want to learn something different. Link up with somebody. We provide taxes, tax plans, everything we do at MIC.
Is that you, man?
Yeah, there you go. And then look at this. So we also did the MIC Secretary, which is a bot that gives you, if something halts, you're gonna.
Chad's in the chat room too.
Chad, these are channels, so there's going to be broker talk. Chad's in there. You can ask him any questions about Venom, any question about Cobra, performance updates, trader location, trader stations. Show your setup. Yeah. So chart recap, guys. This is we try to keep it business in the main room all day. You know, your alerts if you want to alert what you're getting into, thought process. That's not really like the fun zone, but like we have an off topic and all that. If you want to post your charts. With your prints, with your DOS fills, post them in the chart recaps. Like,
people learn lots from that. So
I do trader calls every day. Austin does trader calls every day. Joe Kelly does. Brian, I don't know, you don't. You do your own thing with the taxes. We have a ton of guys reaching out to you, so we never want you to feel like if you're a member that I'm struggling, I'm embarrassed, I keep losing money, I can't reach out to Tosh. He's gonna, dude, I want to freaking help you. Are you kidding me? Reach out to me, dude. We're a team. So. Tell us your account size if you want, and then I can better talk to you. Are you over PDT? Are you under? I can give you different advice. I just really can. But this is the collective experience of the chat, guys. It's really fun. These are what you call threads. You open something like this up, and you can reply. You can talk about it to keep the noise down. So as you can see right here, Chicago Trader, who's our fundamental guy, he posts his chart, and then all these people comment. Market Maniac, I know you're in here. So the point is, guys, it's just a collective community of everybody helping each other. PMs are always open. Feel free to PM me. Weekend mentoring. This is something we do on. Alex posts his watch list every day in watch list. Okay, so check this out, guys. Every single morning, I've been trading 5 years. I still want to read everything that Alex says because.
Was it Friday or Thursday?
Let's see. Right here. Alex on Friday. Solo. Zombie Roll saved me once again yesterday. Walking at 11 has not only yielded a higher P&L, but also less stress. He's giving his plan. FUV, I'm looking for a gap down there.
RBZ, guys. Okay? It hit there. So if you use the trigger that Joe's going to show you, you check out the watch list pre-market. You program all your trades into that trigger, which is the algorithm.
Alex just told you exactly where he wants to get short.
Dude, you go to work, you come back, you would have made.
Solo's the same thing at 470, 485. Those are the lines that hit on
It hit.
5 was the top.
The point is, guys, we have so many resources. Should I show them the video library? Can you get that up specifically for me? So weekend mentoring, guys. It's a channel, but I'll just talk about it. So yeah, to show that. So every Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you have access to me, all the moderators, and Alex has time to show up every now and then. We answer any question possible. You can ask us anything. We reply through threads, and it's. Can you go up a little bit? I just want to show you guys what you're getting if you join MIC. Then we save it in the PDF form.
So there's 73 questions asked, 581 messages.
You guys can read through it. See how we handle VWAP. See how we handle the lines.
What is cool? How can I build my small account?
Where's that?
Is there any video?
What's Bal's favorite drink? Like, ask any question, man. I'm telling you. So this is our guy T. Oliver. This is one of my trading partners. I call him every day on the phone. One of the most amazing traders ever, and he's kind of newish. How can I build a small account? Only play AA1s, avoid all else, wait for outer lines, discipline. Like, we try to give you guys every single good avenue of information that you should probably read. You go to work, avoid zombie hour, day 2 to 3, low hanging fruit. Like, we're going to give you, and if you want to go into extreme detail, we do calls every day. Like, I'll hit you up for 15 minutes and we'll really talk out what's specific to you, to Andrew, to Camille, to anybody, whatever it is.
So we have a vision to turn this into like the FAQ. So you imagine like a year of these FAQ questions. You go into MIC, you type in the search and
Search your question.
because your question is not the first guy to ask, right? And so this becomes like an organic growing FAQ. The video library?
Yeah, let's see the video library. So the video library, guys, is on our site. Because anything on YouTube is more of like a teaser. If Bao does a recap, we're going to put a 10-minute teaser together so the public can see. Non-members, obviously. But if you go to our... and then log in with your Slack. The videos tab on our website, this is like the coup de grace, right? This is where Bao does a 2-hour daily recap. Even live, sometimes live trading examples, you can log in with your Slack platform and then go watch it. Or boot camps, like the San Jose boot camp for annual members. The videos tab? Yeah, you're on blogs real quick. Just want to show this to you guys so you can get a little familiar.
So these are better than the $2,000, $5,000, $6,000 DVDs.
But we don't upsell. We don't sell DVDs. Like, all this stuff is included in the monthly or the annual. But the point is like, just because it's free does not demean the level of. We were talking about this at lunch.
I think I should start charging. People respect stuff that's overpriced, right?
It's all free, guys. But we have 200 videos on here to teach you out, and they're categorized. So daily recaps. What's for new members? What's for fundamental analysis? Matt put his series together every Sunday. Joe puts together a how-to series every Sunday.
Dude, these are like full-blown DVDs.
What to do when you're upside down on a stock, going long. We talk about low-hanging fruit. Here's the first bounce strategy where we play on words with bounce and Bao's name.
So guys, just start, go into this and watch all the videos.
We have every single resource you could ever possibly want. If you're brand new, never heard about stocks in your entire life, you just have to use them. You have to be confident in reaching out to us. You have to watch our videos. Hit up the tax man. We have everything you need. So, any questions on anything?
All right, so
And we got gear. Show the shop.
All right, so the last thing that I want to talk about that we really never do.
We never do this, but we decided like.
Yeah, so I had to kind of twist Bao's arm for this, and he's really against it, and he doesn't really like to do this, and he hates it. But he wants to kind of do like the first like MIC sale for the people that came to this event.
Oh, aim for the guys out here. Yeah.
So the way that we structure it is we're going to do for anyone that signs up today until Monday, you're going to get 20% off the annual membership.
Well, you got to upgrade, yeah.
Yeah, or you can upgrade and get 20% off. And all you have to do is when you check out, just use the code Dallas. And that's going to be good until Monday at 11:59 p.m.
And always any questions, tosh@myinvestingclub.com. I will get back to you. Any suggestions, questions, anything, please, please, please.
We're probably never going to do a sale again. I don't even know why we're doing it now. Like, it's just... He was just in a good mood, I guess. He's just in a good mood. So...
I feel the value is like, dude, it's already too cheap. We don't sell anything. This is Phantom Gold costs over 10 grand. Me and right with us and Chad. So thank you, Chad.
Yeah. Tax platform and staying with our commission structure with our beloved broker of choice, MIC practically free.
So if you guys have any questions about joining MIC or you're kind of on the fence, it's tax deductible. And just come talk to me about Tosh or anyone on the team, and we'll see what we can do to help you guys. But thank you, Cobra, for helping setting this up. Thanks for everyone for coming to this event, and look forward to doing more like this. Thank you.
Don't have to provide us your individual names. If you have, great. But if not, just go to House of Blues, use MIC Investing Club, MIC Trading. They'll know. They just kind of know the general idea.
We should take a photo, so don't leave. I want to take a photo of everybody.
Yeah.
So line everybody
Let's do
up.
that right now.
Huddle up.
Yeah, let's put the website there.
All right, man. Thanks.
Chad, awesome.